For years, people have used Acquia's DevDesktop to learn Drupal and even build Drupal sites. Well, as you probably know, Acquia's DevDesktop reached end of life this past summer. And so you're stuck at Drupal 9.0.3. I've got a fix for that. Hi, my name's Rod Martin. This is OS Tips from OSTraining, and as I just mentioned, there is a fix to go from 9.0.3 up to the latest version of Drupal. Now, if you've tried doing this with Composer, it likely has failed. And frankly, most site builders don't feel all that comfortable with the command line anyway, so I'm going to show you how to do this manually, and it works every time. All right, so I have a fresh Drupal website. And honestly, it's best if you do this before you get to site building, but you can still do it even if you have a fully blown site like some of our LinkedIn learners or some of our learners at OSTraining. So once again, this is stuck at 9.0.3 because that's the latest version you can download when you install Acquia's DevDesktop. This is a bit of a process, so the steps are on the screen. Step number one, of course, is to download Drupal core. Go to Drupal.org and click on the Download Drupal zip file, and that will download that to your computer. You're going to want to unzip that directory in your Downloads folder, not in your DevDesktop folder. Head over to your local code folder and delete a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to click on the local code link here, and I'm going to delete core, vendor, and all of the individual files that you find here. And honestly, it's best to do a backup before you do all of this. In other words, just zip up the whole directory and then take a backup of your database. All right, so I've deleted all those files, and that leaves me with modules, profiles, sites, and themes. The next step is to copy all of those files out of the download folder and into your DevDesktop. So here's the folder with all of those files and folders in it. So I'm going to select everything except the ones I didn't delete from before. So I'm not selecting modules, profiles, sites, or themes. Copy those over to your site folder, which in this case is OS Tips Update. Now, let's head back to our site, head back to your home page, and add update.php to the URL. The first thing you're going to get here is a configuration sync directory error. Now, I'm not going to do it the official way, but I'm going to show you how to get around this really quickly. You need to edit the settings.php file in your local code base. So once again, let's head back to DevDesktop and click on local code. The file you need to edit is in your sites folder, the default folder, and you'll see settings.php. Double click on that, and hopefully that's going to open up in some kind of text editor on your computer. You can't edit this in Word. If you're on a PC, it needs to be at least Notepad++. My strong suggestion is to get Visual Studio Code, which is what you're seeing here on the screen. And you're going to search for config_, and it's going to take you down to line 264. You're going to delete the hashtag to uncomment this string, and then you're going to need to put a directory here that actually exists. So I'm going to put sites/config. That doesn't exist yet. So I'm going to come back over here and create a new folder called config. Now, ideally, this should be outside the web root, but because we're on DevDesktop, it's just a local host system. It's fine to do it. If you do push this up to a live server, you'll need to update this to a properly configured folder. Go ahead and save that file. On a Mac, you'll need to overwrite it because it's a protected file. All right, now head back to the site, hit refresh, and you should be able to run the database updates. Click Continue. There'll be 20 pending updates at least. And depending if you have other modules installed, or turned on, there might be more. And there we go. I'm now on Drupal 9.3.3 at the time of this recording, which is the most up-to-date version of Drupal core. All right, so that's a little bit of a rigmarole, but hopefully that's been helpful. There's absolutely no reason you need to stay on Drupal 9.0.3, and the advantages of getting up to the latest version of Drupal are many, including just getting rid of that crazy message that shows up every time you hit refresh that there's an available update. All right. Well, thanks for joining me today. This has been OS Tips from OSTraining. We release new videos every week, and we'd love you to subscribe, like the video. We'll see you next time.